We used two of the most advanced AI models to create two characters. We will put them face to face. Their arguments will be evaluated by 5 independent AI models across multiple criteria, scored from 0 to 100. This is AI Debates. Has Trump's expansion of fossil fuel production in 2025 boosted energy independence or accelerated environmental degradation?
Trump's 2025 fossil fuel expansion is about energy independence, jobs, and national security. By unleashing American oil, gas, and coal, he cuts reliance on foreign powers, lowers energy costs, and strengthens the economy. Critics cry environmental harm, but supporters argue U.S. technology and innovation make production cleaner than anywhere else, so keeping it here actually reduces global emissions. Energy dominance means more jobs, cheaper fuel, and a stronger America, proving Trump's policies put both workers and security first while rejecting crippling green mandates that weaken the nation.
Trump's fossil fuel push has accelerated environmental devastation while providing minimal energy benefits. His energy emergency declaration cuts into the Endangered Species Act and throws a wrench in renewable energy development, while opening previously protected areas like parts of the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge for oil and gas exploration. The environmental cost is staggering. Analysis estimates implementing these policies could result in an additional 2.7 billion tons of greenhouse gas emissions. Economically, expanding natural gas exports could trigger price hikes for American consumers and harm the economy, climate, and environment. America was already the world's largest oil and gas producer. This reckless expansion sacrifices irreplaceable ecosystems for marginal production gains that won't meaningfully lower consumer prices.
How have Trump's rollbacks of environmental regulations via 2025 executive orders protected jobs or endangered public health?
Trump's 2025 rollback of environmental regulations is about saving jobs and protecting American industry while still keeping health safeguards intact. Endless red tape from Washington killed factories, farms, and small businesses, but Trump's executive orders cut the bureaucratic chokehold so companies can grow, hire, and innovate. Critics warn of risks, but supporters argue that modern technology already ensures cleaner production, and prosperity gives communities the resources to invest in health and safety. Trump proves that strong economies and healthy families go hand in hand, and that protecting jobs today secures both opportunity and well-being for future generations.
Trump's environmental rollbacks have endangered public health while delivering dubious job benefits. The EPA launched the biggest deregulatory action in U.S. history, while rolling back emission regulations on coal, oil, and gas production, and reevaluating government findings that greenhouse gas emissions are a threat to public health. These rollbacks are dismantling the legal framework critical for closing racial health gaps and setting back that effort toward equity. Experts see the reduction of funding and elimination of environmental enforcement at the EPA as the real goals, not job creation. Orders directed agencies to bypass endangered species protections and other environmental regulations, putting many long-protected ecosystems at risk. These policies prioritized polluter profits over clean air and water that communities desperately need.
What consequences have arisen from Trump's alterations to international climate deals in his second term for U.S. environmental leadership?
Trump's alterations to international climate deals put America back in charge of its own destiny. Instead of signing away jobs and trillions to global bureaucrats, he demands fair terms that protect U.S. workers while still promoting clean energy innovation. Critics say it weakens leadership, but in reality, true leadership means setting the example of balancing prosperity with progress, not crippling our own economy to appease others. By rewriting the rules, Trump ensures America is seen as strong, independent, and technologically advanced, proving that protecting both the planet and U.S. workers is possible when done on America's terms.
Trump's climate retreat has catastrophically undermined U.S. environmental leadership. Experts warn his second term will be more damaging, with the United States withdrawing even further from climate efforts in a way that could cripple future presidents' climate-fighting efforts. U.S. greenhouse gas emissions are estimated to rise up to 36% higher than current policy by 2035, with higher household energy costs and greater dependence on imported oil and gas. By rolling back environmental regulations, withdrawing from international agreements, and prioritizing fossil fuels over clean energy, His administration has undermined the progress made in recent decades and jeopardized the future of the planet. America has abdicated global climate leadership precisely when the world needs it most, abandoning our responsibility to future generations.
Did Trump's 2025 policies on national parks and lands prioritize conservation or industry exploitation?
Trump's 2025 policies on national parks and lands balance conservation with responsible use of resources. Instead of locking away America's wealth, he ensures parks remain protected while also allowing carefully managed development that creates jobs and strengthens local economies. Critics cry exploitation, but supporters argue that true stewardship means using resources wisely, not letting them sit idle while Americans struggle. By promoting both preservation and prosperity, Trump proves that America can protect its natural beauty while empowering workers and fueling economic growth to a win for people and the land alike.
Trump's 2025 public lands policies have prioritized industry exploitation over conservation with devastating results. His Mine Everywhere executive order calls for prioritizing mining on national public lands, cutting off access to some of America's most iconic places. Congressional budget bills offer up hundreds of millions of acres of public land for drilling, logging, and mining while stripping funding from the National Park Service. Steps are being taken to remove barriers to drilling and mining on public lands, with even national monuments on the table, while park staffing is being cut drastically. The administration is firing probationary park rangers while fast-tracking oil drilling permits. This represents a complete abandonment of America's conservation legacy, treating our natural heritage as corporate profit centers.
How effective have Trump's clean air and water initiatives been in 2025, amid deregulatory actions, in improving environmental quality?
Trump's 2025 clean air and water initiatives prove that deregulation doesn't mean dirtier, it means smarter. By cutting wasteful rules that strangled industry, he allowed businesses to innovate with cleaner technology and invest in modern infrastructure, improving environmental quality without killing jobs. Critics shout rollback, but the reality is that U.S. standards remain among the strongest in the world, and prosperity gives communities the resources to safeguard health and nature. Trump shows that America can have cleaner air, safer water, and a booming economy because freedom and innovation always beat bloated bureaucracy.
Trump's clean air and water initiatives are actually systematic attacks on environmental protection. The EPA launched the biggest deregulatory action in U.S. history, while Day 1 executive orders enable a polluter free-for-all that puts clean water and clean air at risk. Trump's EPA is weakening water protections in favor of corporate interests, removing protections from more than half the country's wetlands. These rollbacks have accelerated the climate crisis and endangered communities' health, driven up costs and undermined economic growth. The administration proposes eliminating EPA's finding that greenhouse gases endanger people, undermining climate regulations for power plants and cars. There are no genuine clean air and water initiatives, only corporate giveaways disguised as environmental policy.